Hello and welcome to this Scratch Junior tutorial about mapping. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to get to this screen so that we can all start together. If you're in someone else's project and it looks like this and there's blocks everywhere, come up here to the top left and click on the Scratch Junior button. If you're here, also click on the Scratch Junior button. Now we're all here in the home screen, we can get started. Let's click on the house. And then we're going to click on this blue plus button on the white piece of paper. Okay, now, because we're making a map, the first thing that we need to do is bring up the grid system in Scratch Junior. And we can do that by clicking on this button up here. It looks like a piece of paper that has lots and lots of lines going down. So let's click on that. And you can now see that we have a grid on our scene. Isn't that great? So let's go ahead and delete Scratch the Cat because we don't need him for our map, and we can do that either by holding our finger down on Scratch in our scene, or we can do it by holding our finger down on Scratch over here in our sprite area. So let's click on the red cross to get rid of him, and he's gone. So we're going to make a kind of island map. So to do that, we need to first of all make an island that's sitting in the middle of the ocean somewhere. So let's come up here to the backdrop button and we're going to draw our own. So we're going to come to the paintbrush and then using the squiggly line tool, and we'll make the line a little bit thicker. I want you to pick a color for your island. So I'm just going to choose a sandy yellow and I'm going to draw a big squiggly outline just like this of an island. And I'm going to keep a little gap here so that I could maybe have a bridge or something later on. So here we go. Let's use the paint bucket tool. And we're going to click inside of this island. And now the island is colored yellow. Brilliant. The next thing we want to do is make the backdrop blue. And we can do that by clicking in the blank space around the island. And now the ocean is in our background. Fantastic. So now that this is done, we're not going to place any objects in the backdrop tool here. We're going to place the objects in the coding area. So let's click on the tick now because we've finished making our island. And so now we cannot add any code or anything because we don't have any sprites. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some points of interest around our island, and then we're going to record our voice saying what the object is and where the coordinate of that object is. And the first thing that we need to talk about when we're talking about coordinates is the x-axis, which is the axis that's along the bottom here going left and right, and the y-axis, which is the axis that's going up and down. And when we're talking about coordinates, the x-axis is always said first. And sometimes if you're looking in an atlas or something, it might look a little bit different. You might see letters down here and numbers up the side, and that's okay. No matter what you're looking at, the x-axis, the left and right axis, is always said first. So let's go ahead with that knowledge and add in a thing of interest. So let's click on the plus button on the left-hand side, not on the right-hand side. This would add in new scenes, but we would like to add in an object or a character. And I'm going to draw a treasure chest that lives on my island. So I'm going to come up to the paint bucket tool and I'm going to choose a brown color. And using the squiggly line tool again, I'm going to draw a quick box. Doesn't have to be a great work of art, just like this. And it might have like a little gold buckle on it. Color that in. And let's see if the paint bucket will work on this. Yes, it will. That looks okay, but now I think I'm going to use the line tool again just to make sure that we can see that this is the lid. Otherwise it all kind of looks the same. So sure, that's a treasure chest. Maybe I'll put a little orange blob in there. I like that. That looks cool. All right, so now we'll press the tick button. And the first thing that's happening here is like this is way too big. So to shrink this down, we can go to the purple person over here. And remember, this one is to make things bigger. This one here is to make things smaller. And this one here is to reset the thing back to its original size. So let's drag this one and then press on it a few times. 1, 2, 3. That looks pretty good. And so now we can place this on our island wherever we want. So I'm going to put mine up here, and then we can remove this. We don't need that anymore. We can drag that back up into the coding blocks and it will delete. And so now we need to record our voice saying where this treasure chest is. And if we look at our grid here, we can see that on the x-axis, it's at 16. And on the y-axis, it's at 12. And you might like to get a post-it note or a sticky note or a piece of paper and write that down so that you don't have to remember it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that whenever we press on the object on our map, it says the coordinates. So to do that, we can go to the yellow blocks here. And instead of taking a flag block, we're going to take this one, which is a finger pressing an object. So we're going to start our code with this one. And then we're going to come over to the green speaker icon. And if you don't see this microphone button here, this is how we're going to record our voice. If you don't see that, you need to go into your iPad or tablet settings and make sure that Scratch has access to your microphone. That's the most common problem that I see when we're doing this, is if you can't see this, jump into your settings, find Scratch Junior, and make sure that it has access to your microphone. Then you'll have to restart Scratch Junior, and this microphone will be there again. So we're going to click on this now, remembering our coordinates x16 and y12. And here's the little recording thing. So once I press record, I'm going to say, this is the treasure chest. It is at x16, y12. Here we go. This is the treasure chest. It is at x16, y12. I'm going to press the stop button. And let's say I made a mistake. Instead of pressing the tick button if you made a mistake and then having a recording here that you then have to hold your finger down on to delete, you can actually just press stop and then re-record again, and then it will record over whatever you've done. So let's do it one more time. This is the treasure chest. It is at x16, y12. Press the stop button. You can listen to it back if you'd like, but I'm not going to. And then press the tick. So now we have this new audio button that we've made, and we can attach it to our when the thing is pressed button. So now if I come up and I press on this, this is the treasure chest. It is at x16, y12. Perfect. So you can see here now that we could add lots and lots of different objects around our map, and we could look at the grid system, find out the coordinates, and then record our voices. So remember, to add in a new character, you come back over here to the left, you press the plus button, you add a new object. If you need to resize it, come over to the pink buttons here, and you want to drag in this one. If you accidentally click on this too many times, you could drag this one down and press on it to reset, or you could drag this one on and press it a few times to make it a little bit bigger. I hope that helps. Good luck.